American Horror Adventures. Nick, are you there?
I'm here, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just starting on its own now when you log in via telephone. So this would be something to learn and do. So, yeah, it's interesting. So Teenage Wasteland tonight, Sleepaway Camp 3, and I'm all sorts of confused because TalkShoe, which is our recording platform, just changed things up and really threw me off here. I was not ready for this. And I can't log in via Internet Explorer either anymore, Vic. You have to do Google Chrome,
That's
apparently. Yeah, which I can only do for my phone, but it's not liking it. It's a big-ass headache. So, yeah, it's all sorts of fun.
Wow.
But let's see how it goes
now.
tonight. Hopefully it records. It says, call recording has begun. So all that bullshit. We'll see how it turns out. Tonight we are talking about Sleepaway Camp Part 3. It does say we're live, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. Maybe when we hang up, it'll actually turn off on its own,
I guess.
Yep. So, let me get caught up to everything here because, I thought it would be as easy as just calling in. But I log in and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose because everything's updated. Have you looked at it yet, Vic?
I have not. I haven't been on TalkShoe. I looked at the picture you just sent, but
it looks completely
I haven't actually looked at TalkShoe.
Yeah, it all looks completely different. So hopefully this records as noted. So what we'll do is we'll try not to have too long of a show. That way we don't waste our time. But let's see, phone controls. Let's see, they've got all sorts of weird phone controls too now. Apparently you can start and stop recording on this too with *9. So don't do it, but apparently that's how you can do it. So.
Yeah, I had to actually unmute myself. They didn't just unmute me like it normally does.
Really? I thought when I started it, did it tell you how?
Yeah, it's *6. So if somebody wants to call in and listen, then they can. But if then they want to talk, they can just hit *6 and then they can start talking.
Fair enough. Okay, well, let's see here. So Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, came out in 1989. For some reason, Vic, I thought this had come out right at the start of the 90s, but I was wrong. This actually does take place in the 80s.
89 is basically the start of the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It's the
everything else is pretty 80s, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely 80s. It's 80s through and through.
Indeed. Well, I believe, let me take a look at Sleepaway Camp 2 here. I would go back and listen to our episode, but I just didn't have time for it. And, it's one of those things where I don't like listening to my own voice, especially on that type of episode. So we've actually talked about Sleepaway Camp and Sleepaway Camp 2 in the past. And usually, it's not usually. It's in the summer. We always talk about Sleepaway Camp. So now this is our third version of this. And I'm pretty excited about it because Sleepaway Camp's one of those things that actually is just, it belongs in the 80s. You know what I mean? Evil Dead's another one of those. Friday the 13th. They're just 80s movies, period. Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they had a little run in the 80s, but those aren't 80s movies. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this is pretty much the leader of the pack when it comes to Friday the 13th ripoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I'd say so because, you could say The Burning, you could say Maniac, you could say Madman, but which one of them had sequels? This one.
Exactly. So, you had a whole series of them, and it was awesome.
So we've got basically the same cast of characters coming back as far as in the director's chair and all that shit. You've got the director, Michael A. Simpson, who was the director in Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and you've got the same writers, Fritz Gordon and then Robert Hiltzik, which is just based on the original idea by him. And then you get Pamela Springsteen coming back as Angela. Of course, she's Bruce's sister, right?
Yeah, I did know that, actually. I like her.
Yes, I like her, too. In fact, she's topless in some movie. I forget the name of it, though. It's on the commentary for Sleepaway Camp 3. They tell you which one. Just so you know.
That's awesome.
Just a little FYI. Just Googling that later.
Awesome.
Yes. I'm drinking right now. You're drinking right now. Tell me what you're drinking, Vic.
I had these little pre-made Washington apple shooters that I am I'm already 3 in. I'm about to drink the fourth one, and I mean, anybody that knows me knows how much I love Washington apples. I bought these a while ago for one of our shows. I still had some left, and I kept them for a rainy day. And well, I'm a Sleepaway Camp guy. I'm a slasher guy, so here I am.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's where'd you get the Washington apple?
This local dothead fucking
Jesus
or
fucking Christ, Mitch. Here we go.
liquor store in East Town. I mean, they treat me well, so I like them. But you know, I call a spade a spade. I call a spade a spade. You know, that's probably sounding racist too. But yeah, it's just a little local spot in E Town. You know what I'm saying? Whenever, because E Town's only been wet a few years, so whenever it went wet, like, you know, all these little liquor stores popped up everywhere. So there's just one like right around the corner from my mom's house, and that's where I got it from.
You said wet.
Yeah, I like it.
And this is as I noted last week, this is exactly the highbrow type of humor you can expect from Travis and Mitch, drunken horror adventures. So
yeah, I don't get on here drunk enough, so I'm trying to make it well worth it tonight, fellas.
I like the way they did this. So the Sleepaway Camp 2 came out August 26, 1988. August 4th, 1989 was the sequel, Sleepaway Camp 3. So less than a year later, and by the way, they filmed them back to back. Like back to back. They were prepared. I wish they would have done that with some other horror movies,
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it more, but I think they did well with it, so that's awesome.
The one person that's in this movie that outside of Pamela Springsteen that I do want to mention real quick is Tracy Griffith. She's the redhead in this movie, Vic. And so the whole movie I'm watching her, and I'm like, how do I know her? She is in some 80s movie that I know. I know her. I'm positive I know her, I'm like, where the fuck do I know her from? It's from something from my childhood. And I was thinking, the first thing that came to my mind was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Remember the redhead? She was like the survivor girl in Part 2, even though it was a survivor guy in that one, but she lived too. Like his love interest, even though he was gay. Yeah. I thought it was maybe her, but I knew I recognized her regardless. It wasn't her, but it was, interestingly enough, a little reference to the fact that we're going to Horror Hound next month. It was this psychic chick in the movie The First Power with Lou Diamond Phillips, which I watched many times as a kid, and I assume it's because it was on Movie Channel, which we had. We never had HBO. I think maybe we had Cinemax for a little while.
The Movie Channel is where I first watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Very good. Yeah, Movie Channel had a lot of good shit. And I'm pretty sure First Power was one of those.
Because, like, the Movie Channel, it, like, came with your packages or whatever, but HBO and Showtime, Showtime you had to pay extra for, but you didn't for the Movie Channel. So that was the only one I had growing up as well.
So this movie, okay, you want to do a little comparison here. I'm just going to tell you what Sleepaway Camp 2 gets on IMDb. It gets a 5.8 on IMDb. Now, what do you think Sleepaway Camp 3 gets?
5.8.
Nope, 5.3, so it drops 0.5. Yeah. Pretty big drop, honestly. And I feel like this is more, we'll get into it. I feel like this is kind of what happens to slashers. We've talked about this. As it goes on, no matter how good the quality is, it just drops.
It is. Like, the more sequels come out, the lower they get on fucking IMDb and whatever else.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can find you some budget and all that bullshit. I mean, it was a small budget, I can tell you that much, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to find you much of anything or any kind of, anything. Like I said, I know it was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not going to be able to find any kind of a budget or anything like that, I don't believe. Let me see. I'll look one more time. They had a budget of $465,000, and I had no idea what this was. Because Well, let's see. Yeah, I have no idea if it even came out to the theater. Well, it was released on VHS in the United States in 1989, so it was straight to video, which that's rare. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, everything is, isn't it? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, I thought so. Like, I didn't think straight to video started until like the mid-90s.
Let me give you a little background info. This film has been released twice on DVD in the U.S. by Anchor Bay Entertainment. The first release was in 2002 with a single DVD edition, as well as in the Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit. That's the one I have, Vic, which it has the whole set, well, 1 through 3. And both these releases are currently out of print. So, good shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was just released on Blu-ray in 2015 along with Sleepaway Camp 2. And, of course, Scream Factory is the one who did it. So I love Scream Factory, but I don't know their shit because it's kind of expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive as fuck. I got the original Sleepaway Camp on Blu-ray from them because they actually put it out in stores. I got it at Barnes & Noble, actually, and it was like $35.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this episode at the start, I do apologize. Like I said, I was playing catch-up on this whole thing because, like I said, they fucking threw me a curveball. It's not like I had looked at Talk Show recently, which means I need to add the Richard Ramirez. Why am I saying Richard Ramirez? I do this every fucking week. The Menendez Brothers episode and Pondo for next week, so they're no longer on my list. You think they're the same person? That's racist of me, but it's true.
I don't know, racist fucker.
Speaking of racist, let's talk about Sleepaway Camp 3.
Very racist. That's a good segue. I like it.
It's funny hearing them talk about this on the commentary because they're like, yeah, we'd never be able to get away with this now. Never. Never, ever, ever.
No.
Ever. And we're talking like 2002, so they already knew. Can you imagine how much worse it would be now? Good Lord. I'm surprised this movie's not banned in the U.S. We're going to end up like, remember in the United Kingdom and like all these countries used to ban movies? That's going to be us.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure Chainsaw Massacre is still banned in like 5 countries or something.
Germany was real weird about Chainsaw too, but I guess after you orchestrate the killing of millions of Jews, you kind of get sensitive to stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just saying there is a little bit of guilt there in Germany. That's all. You know what I mean? Like after the Holocaust, they were pretty fucking guilty for a long time. Whether they participated as citizens or not, they probably enabled. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this. Anyway.
I don't either. You're drunk and rambling.
Yes. So let's talk about Sleepaway Camp 3. By the way, I bought my Oliver Peach wine that I'm drinking tonight at, I think it's called like Wine World. Where the fuck? It's something like that. Wine World, Crestwood. I forget the name. It's somewhere in Crestwood, I think.
Why the fuck do you got Crestwood?
Wine and More, maybe. Because we were getting Brandy at her wine for her birthday. Total Wine and More. That's the name of it. It's at Summit Plaza, which is like futuristic world, as you know.
Mhm.
So Total Wine and More. And they have cheap alcohol there, so I like that place. It's pretty cool. So anyway, to get this movie kicked off, you get this young teenage girl, which is kind of the theme of these movies, named Maria Nacastro, because why not? Played by Tashina Kessler, who's packing, and she gives us a nice tit shot. She is kind of part of the itty bitty titty committee. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but I would have jacked off all over her.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciated it. She has 80s hair, of course. And she's kind of
packing. Nice ass.
She did. She was nice to look at. Not as good as somebody else later on, but we'll get into that when we get there. She's
not as good as somebody later on.
Yes. But it's very hostile in this house. She's like yelling at her dad. They're just very angry in this house. And I kind of feel like that's my future. But anyway. That was my future. That was my night, to be honest with you. Everybody was angry. So anyway, she's packing to go to camp. Yeah, that's pretty much what needs to happen. Give people whiskey. What John says, and he's right. So, packing to go to camp. And again, this chick, there's no way she's a teenager. This chick's in her 20s easily, but whatever. And as she's walking across the street after she's gotten herself dressed and everything, she's chased into